Hello learners, this is PALLAVI SENGUPTA, faculty member at National Law University, Odisha. Welcome to the first subunit on domestic violence. The term domestic violence means harm or injury to health, safety, life, limb or well-being. Domestic violence can be both physical and mental. It also includes verbal abuse as well as the willful neglect or coercion or harassment or exploitation of any person which is made by his or her relative. In this context, women are the most vulnerable as they generally fall victim to abuse or harassment in their homes. For married women, their situation worsens due to various reasons like the demand for dowry or because of their jobs or for not being able to bear children. Let's look at the various types of abuse now. Abuse can be either physical or sexual or mental or economic or a combination of all of them. Now, let's look at the prevalent law on domestic violence, which is currently the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act of 2005. This act would hereinafter be referred to as the Act of 2005. This act tries to provide justice to the aggrieved woman by rescuing the abused or harassed women and ensuring that they have an alternative recourse and by ascertaining their safety. Next, we come to the question of who can make the complaint under this act. Complainant can be anybody including the sufferer or her family member or her friend or even a concerned neighbor. The law protects the complainant from being held either civilly or criminally liable for making the complaint while he or she acts in good faith. The complaint can be made to a protection officer if the informer believes that an act of domestic violence has been or is being or is likely to be committed. Now, let's move on to the salient features under the Act of 2005. As you can refer to the PowerPoint presentation, the Act for the first time defined domestic violence. Again, it is aimed to provide a civil remedy to the aggrieved women. Its main goal is not to punish the offender. Under the Act, an aggrieved woman can make a complaint to either a police officer or a protection officer or a service provider or even a magistrate. As for the rights provided under the Act, an aggrieved woman is entitled to legal aid, to medical aid as well as to a refuge in shelter homes. Further, in order to protect the aggrieved women, the magistrate can order for in-camera proceedings. In terms of the remedies that are available under the Act, two types of orders can be passed in favor of the aggrieved women. Firstly, a protection order can be passed against the offender to stop them from torturing the aggrieved women further or harassing her dependents or her family members who have given shelter to the tortured woman. Secondly, an order of maintenance can be passed in favor of the aggrieved woman or her minor children. Finally, the aggrieved woman enjoys a right to reside in a shared household and she can't be evicted. She also enjoys the right to claim interim compensation under the Act of 2005. Now, let's look at the final portion under this chapter, which is the criticisms against the Act. Firstly, there is an issue regarding the lack of proper implementation of the Act. Instances of the aggrieved married woman making the complaint are rare as they fear retaliation and further torture. Also, when the women make a complaint, they are not taken seriously as their issues are trivialized and called petty and they're asked to resolve their disputes amicably and keep the matter within their homes. Other criticisms include the lack of penal sanction which renders the whole act useless. Further, men's rights activists have criticized the act as anti-men as they do not talk about the men's perspective. However, despite the criticisms, we shall have to admit that the act has its benefits as it has helped in rescuing many aggrieved women and in making them more independent and self-reliant. Thank you. Hope to see you in the next lecture which would deal with the dowry system.